Hello! Welcome back! Episode 4, how have you been? Oh, we're filming this on a Wednesday and I'm utterly out of sync. It's like being jet lagged. Yeah. We were just saying this before, you had this sort of, what do they call it when you're off a drug and you get the shakes? Withdrawal symptoms.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
Just me?
What is
cool.
drug?
Cool.
You mean like paracetamol, right?
Ibuprofen.
Hi, Mom!
So, as of when I've been editing this, and I think I'm editing number 3 at the moment, we've started getting Sam's amazing pictures up for the character art.
Yeah.
The blue one was put up.
Very cool.
I really like that, yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
I wish, because I knew you could draw, but I didn't realise you could do it so, like, on the computer. Like, that's the first one I've seen with just, like, a computer
The
cut.
second one I've ever done, I think.
Really?
So, yeah, new for me too.
It's really cool, even down to, like, the belts and, like, the buckles and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our drawings just it's like stickmans.
Stickman,
yeah. Because I'm done now.
I think I gave you a stickman, but I took it off after the edit because I thought, oh, that's just not professional enough next or whatever. So I think you just got like a logo or something.
Excellent. I'm all about logos.
I mean, I love the logo of Bear Ryan.
Yeah,
That's
good. That's another one I found.
Yeah,
I think, from a couple of years ago. Yeah.
The first digital drawing. So there you
Was
go.
that? No, that predated the. Do you remember that game with the ball, with the circles? And you eat the other circles. It's like Agario or something.
Hungry Hippos?
Hungry Hippos. That's it. YouTube.
Circles
Anyway.
that you eat the other circle.
D&D.
Yeah, D&D. So off camera we all leveled up to level 3, which is exciting. So we've all got newfound skills. We had a long rest. I forgot to tell you to respect the hit dice rule with the long rest. So don't worry about that. We're just all hit dice for now. So you should have 3 hit dice and we'll do that next time.
Sweet.
And you've all got spell slots and rages and all kinds of stuff. So, unless you can think of anything else.
No?
Let's dive in. So,
Literally.
not looking down this time.
You know all your
I
notes.
don't half remembered the recap.
Welcome to the world.
Yes. Oh, such a special one. So last time, the party with Captain Grumac and the recently rescued guard Bram, human Bram, half-orc Captain Grumac, you ventured into the hull of the ship, past the loading screen barricade Natural 20 can provide you, to attempt a sort of rescue come sort of just extermination mission, I guess, to make sure that there's nothing else on the ship whilst the remainder of the guard contingent stayed on the top deck and the ship had been steered off its course, so there were no more people, creatures boarding the ship that you could tell, but they were keeping watch to keep everything else coming off, and you went below deck armed with a couple of crossbows, so a couple of potions, and a scroll of healing that Captain Grumac had managed to ferret out from one of his many cubby holes that the rat folk hadn't plundered. You encountered a bunch of rat folk, seemingly aided by a couple of the more trained and aggressive goblins in the first deck of the ship, who seemed to be doing a very good job of chucking as much cargo out of the ship as they could through a small hole in the ship. You very ably dealt with them, boarded or patched up the hole. I think, Theren, you did a good job at making sure that nothing else could escape. It was at this point that Aubrey discovered that her cargo at least had been tampered with, if not half of it was missing. Didn't look good.
Nope.
After carefully descending the stairs, you encountered, on the second deck, a couple of more vicious, trained rat folk who seemed to be certainly more accomplished at navigating battlefields, sort of skirmishing abilities.
Roguelike,
you could say, yes.
Uncannily, yes.
In the midst of the battle, Blue belatedly found the trap that they'd left for them. The poison left on the banister.
That image has stuck with me.
It's
I
such a
just
good
like to
image.
imagine that everyone else is fighting, and just the last thing you see is just this dragonborn slide down the banister and just face back, and just isn't moving.
Wabam! Yeah.
Guys, we need time out.
I loved it.
Oh god, he's been very still.
I loved it. But in, again, a pretty impressive field of sort of combat navigation, you managed not only to take out the threat, but also protect, recover Blue. It was...
Didn't die.
Finally, for the first time, it was a battle of true teamwork coordination. It was resulted in a win
Hang on.
against two very tough foes. Probably the hardest encounter of anything I'd thrown at you so far. Or the ship had thrown at you so far.
I mean, I don't know. The first encounter was quite difficult, but I think we made that was not supposed.
No, that
to
was
be.
3 encounters.
Okay. My bad.
Remind us, Fiona.
I love it.
why was
I love it. It was my first session back after a long time as well, so I was rusty. I could have perhaps. You shouldn't go that way. I don't want to do that.
No, don't run ahead.
Come back.
After the
People
chaos of battle, you discovered that unfortunately it seemed that most of the crew below deck had died, including what seemed to be the first watch as well as the first mate. A couple of the other sort of specialist professionals on the boat, such as the head cook, had died before, the head navigator, the quartermaster. The ship is down to a skeleton crew. You did, however, manage to rescue 2 further guards who had managed to barricade themselves in their quarters.
Cowards.
The final thing you did, after a little bit of interrogation, you managed to convince Captain Grumac to let you into the final lowest 3rd deck of the ship, past a locked door. Was it locked or did you smash it
No,
open?
it was definitely locked. I definitely smashed it open.
You definitely smashed it
I smashed
open,
it-
yeah.
smashed-
There was 2 locks, you destroyed one, and then Groom was fine.
That's
Yeah,
one. That's it.
yeah.
That's it. You managed to find your way down to the below deck, where a secret was uncovered that perhaps the Athena's cargo was not all above board. Well, actually, a lot of it is below board, but
Boo!
Turn this off right now.
hidden amongst the cargo of the ship.
above board.
Thank you. Thank you. The delayed laugh. That's what I was
wow.
going for.
Yeah.
Hidden amongst the rest of the cargo, there seemed to be a small shipment, seemingly given by Thorn, somebody who Aubrey and Captain Grumac seemed to connect to each other. A shipment of 10 small, sort of almost scroll case style cylinders filled with a sort of translucent yet rainbow multicoloured crystal that Captain Grumac referred to as Arcanite. He didn't know too much more about it, and actually I don't think any of you guys did at the time either. The only thing you know is that whilst laws in Xerieos can be a little bit sketchy depending on where you are on the map, Arcanite certainly has gathered a reputation for being, if not illegal, then certainly dangerous cargo. You also know that it is very valuable. From the indication you got is that something in the region of 10,000 gold per cylinder had been promised on delivery for the shipment. So we're talking about 100,000 gold. Certainly more gold than the rest of the cargo on the Athena is likely to be worth. That said, you all made your way up above deck in various states of drunken stupor, sulkiness, food-induced comas,
Yeah.
and you all had a well-needed long rest. You all wake...
Great.
Sorry? No, if you want to end.
No, that was me going, woo!
Yeah. You all wake probably about an hour, probably 2 hours after sunrise. You've slept probably for 5-6 hours, later than you would normally sleep in due to the late interrupted sleep you'd had the night before. You have the deck to yourself. What would you like to do?
Ooh.
We've not planned with it, so like we're ready
Blue,
to
I must
fight.
say,
I've got
you from memory passed out in one of the food cupboards. For
Yes.
So you may be below deck, although it is fairly easy to get.
Okay, I'll
back
head
above
up
deck.
deck and try and find Aubrey. I go, Miss Aubrey, you're very good with an X, big X. Could you maybe teach me?
I don't laugh.
Aubrey doesn't laugh.
I don't.
Aubrey's a stone
Can
cold
I? Can I?
Either that or just watch you very intently next time we fight.
Is there a role where I can analyse how good Blue could be with an axe versus his current capabilities? Like, You know, when
Yeah.
you analyse like an athlete and be like, this so much muscle proportion and squats are going to be the in their wheelhouse, etc.
Yeah. Why did you make me, based with the third check being what you know from the battles you've had yesterday, make me an insight check and an athletics check.
Ooh.
Can I puff out my chest to look strong?
You certainly can. You don't even need to roll for that.
No.
You look strong. You look bulky.
All right, so this is
Theren's jealous.
this is the insight check. Is a 14
For insight?
insight, and then athletics, which is a +6, by the way.
Which
a
is
9.
good.
A 9.
I am
I know.
eating cheese at this very moment.
Puffed up chest, just entire wheel of cheese in his hand.
Whilst it's difficult to put a pin on Blue's physical stature, in the sense that A, he's a dragonborn, and it's a anatomy that is not necessarily something you're expert in terms of you're a human family, you've lived in a predominantly humanoid city. Dragonborn, whilst you've seen a few, are not necessarily something you come across too often. It's difficult to get a gauge on Blue because he's a weird combination of he looks strong, but he also looks portly.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
big, but he's also not as tall as other Dragonborn, so it's difficult to get a gauge on him.
Okay.
With what did you say insight was?
Insight was a...
14?
It was 14, yeah.
14.
Roll 11 +3.
How would you describe Blue's combat style?
Ooh. Flashy. He likes to look cool instead of actually being fighting good. And them words I speak wrong order.
Like Yoda.
Yeah.
Oh, good it is. Okay, I also lean close and go, I can teach you, but there are certain sacrifices you need to make. Are you willing to commit yourself to this?
Depends on the sacrifices.
Well, and I take the block of cheese in your hand and I throw it off the ship.
Can I resist her taking it from me?
Sure. Make a sleight of hand check. Opposed sleight of hand check.
Oh,
Oh,
close.
no.
Oh no, I'm not very good at... Oh, I'm alright at hand. Yeah, that's 21. 21.
You don't even hear the splish. You're so high up out the water, you barely register it.
I think I'll go for home tutorage. Bye. And then I'll walk to the front. I'm giving her on that.
I'm like, you'll go far.
Self-taught is fine.
I glance up at this for a second, kind of just shake my head, and then go back to sort of just...
Yeah.
Just making stuff, yeah. I just assume he's hungover.
It's a fair assumption to
Yeah.
make. You got through a decent amount of alcohol last night. Looking at the bottles, it's nothing spectacular, but a good session.
Yeah. Wait, so how much would you say I've drunk compared to Theren?
Ooh, 65-35? 70-30? Probably.
Hey, Theren, how are you doing today?
I have a slight my head is, what's the word?
Round?
Oh god.
Pink? Covered in hair.
Hurts. I have a bit of a headache, and I didn't sleep very well. So I'm fine, thank you, Blue.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm going.
Then Blue walks off.
I'm going to go and find something to eat, and preferably water to drink.
Sounds good. There's no more cheese, just so you know. It's in the ocean.
In the order, we don't really consume dairy. So.
I love how you have that.
Is this called backstory?
Yeah. That's some...
Theren, sorry, remind me, Theren. You talked a little bit. Sorry.
No, yeah, it's fine.
You talked about this order.
You
Yes.
can talk up for the camera.
Okay, yeah.
Stage whispers.
Stage
Stage whispers.
Theren, you talked about this order. Remind me, what are you doing? I know we talked loads last night. Yeah. What are you actually doing? Like in the world now? They've sent you out
As in, why am I here?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, when
Like, why are you going to Ybrit or wherever we're going?
you're Brit.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, there's really no reason why I am. Now, what happens in the Order is most of our recruits are accepted when they're children, and their life is dedicated to the Order.
Right.
I was born into it, as opposed to...
I got that. But why are you...
It's like mashing the skip button on a dialogue, isn't it? hey.
Just...
Yeah.
But what are you going to do when we finally get there? Do you have a plan?
I just have to survive until my 21st birthday.
Ooh. My eyes light up at this. So, you've not experienced any of the outside world at all?
I've barely even seen much of Applebury.
Excellent. And I sort of sit back and then make plans for when we finally arrive in that place about all the places we're going to visit.
We do actually hear some worrying stories in the Order of novitiates like myself who've gone out having spent most of their life in the Citadel, and they lose themselves in what the Lord Inquisitor describes as the sins of the outside world.
You're with us. That won't happen.
Right.
It will totally happen.
And because I have a wisdom of 8, I believe her.
I've got your back.
Yeah, don't worry.
Thank you. It's good to know that I have an ally in this. I really need to drink some water because I think I'm going to be sick.
It's fine. Yeah, go for it.
By this point, you've made your way out of the cabin, and the food sort of hall is nestled above the captain's quarters, so towards the back of the boat. Reaching the deck after, talking for discussion for a little bit of time, the sun is up. It's probably 9-10 o'clock in the morning. It seems to be a day where, whilst the weather is crisp, it's warm but not stifling, there is a strong wind, and in the distance you can see what appears to be large clouds forming. You get the sense that potentially a storm is on the way, or certainly the weather is shifting.
There's a storm.
Now you know that. So currently, just to give you a little bit as well. So we are still on the same day that we started session 1 on. So it's still the 24th day of the summer.
Feels so long.
So you know that autumn is less than a week away. Storms in summer and autumn can be quite vicious. In Xerieos, the weather can take a turn pretty quickly, and ship trade can at some points be stopped altogether. Ships can just refuse to leave port due to the weather. So you know that some bad weather is on the way. You've actually been fairly lucky up to this point. You've had a couple of rough nights, but nothing too bad. But it certainly there's a shift in the air. As you go onto deck, perception checks actually.
Ooh.
Anybody who's on deck,
Yay.
see what you mean. See what you spot.
11.
Perception.
11.
16.
15, 16. Okay. The
He's
extra
got his head
stuff.
of the side being sick.
I'll tell you exactly what's down here.
The only thing you notice is just the lack of crew. There are probably 2 or 3 very tired-looking deckhands running around, trying to effectively do what they can. It looks like their workload has been reduced. There is only the central sail up at this point. The ship does appear to be moving, but slower than you would expect. And there's a general sense of just, that sort of down, trying to come to terms with what's happened. It doesn't feel very positive on deck. Certainly you don't notice anywhere near the level of business and productivity that you normally associate with the deck. There are still the signs of battle, various objects and stains that have attempted very quickly to have been washed up, and you think at some point they will be removed, but it's just not a great place to be. 2 of you, in addition, notice as you're walking sort of from the front door, taking a look around, scanning, as you rise up on the deck to get to where the food quarter is, you glance around, and towards the front of the ship, just on the horizon, you see what appears to be an object. It's at a distance, it's difficult to sort of get too much detail, but the grey mass just on the horizon, like a sort of square but jaggedy at the top. The ship is currently moving towards.
Oh, so it's a landmass then?
You would expect so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's that grey distant colour at the moment.
Okay.
There's no detail whatsoever, but something on the horizon.
Do you think it's Bacon Bowl?
I think, yes, or something similar. Must be.
That's what it was called.
Bacon Bowl.
Bacon Bowl.
Yeah,
And
you're right, yeah. Must. Why would I think it's called anything else? Yeah.
Beggars Bowl, right?
Oh.
Wasn't it? I
Yes.
can't remember.
Yes.
God.
God, I could do with some bacon though.
Oh.
Should we go get? Do you want some bacon, Theren?
What's bacon?
Excellent.
I'm just gonna throw it overboard.
Bacon's actually really good for you if you want to build up those muscles to do the.
Please don't
Horrors.
talk about throwing up overboard.
I'll go to the food thing and then get a huge plate for me and even bigger one for Theren and a small one for Blue. Then you've got to build your muscle up.
I very, very tentatively take the tiniest bite of this bizarre, rather fatty-looking substance.
That's sin number 3.
No, that's not number 3. Number 3 is no one's spouse.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It's been a rough day. Just chill. Eat the
I'd eat it. Yeah.
eat the bacon.
It's really
So
good.
you get yourself to the food deck. You actually, there is minimal food around once you get there.
No bacon.
The usual sort of
I feel bad
almost
throwing
like
my
a
cheese
sort
off
of
now.
canteen setup that is normally there, where crews sort of come and go as they get off shift and as they're through, is like it's there but empty. There is food, basic provisions, actually some cheese and bread that have been brought up, and a couple of other pickled vegetables and toughened, jerkied sort of meats. You can take what you want. Probably after about 5-10 minutes, Captain Grumac comes in, sort of nods to you all. Yes, I heard that you had all arisen. I trust you're feeling well. You've rested as best as possible.
Yes, completely back to normal, Captain.
Where does rain?
Okay.
How can we help?
Yes. Well, it's good that you can get some food into you now. We're due to arrive on the island probably in the next 3 hours, depending on the speed of the ship.
We could see it in the distance.
Yes, we're making good speed. All things considering, it could be a lot worse. A favourable wind, actually. We've lucked, well, as much as this situation is lucky. We've done ourselves proud getting this far. We've counted the dead. I believe probably about 24, although some are unconfirmed, which really puts us down to a skeleton crew. But brief tours of the boat that the crew have kindly assisted me with overnight, it confirms my worst fears. The supplies on the ship, the cargo on the ship are decimated. It seems like whatever these creatures were, these rat things on board, they specifically targeted food substances, perishables, as well as other bits of cargo as they've got their hands on. We've managed to take what we could. Thank you for disrupting the room as you've done, but it's fine.
I
It's okay.
tidied it up.
Yes, well, we estimate that the ship, for everyone on board, they probably have maybe have 8
It's okay,
eight
Theren.
rations, 10, 11 at a stretch for the people on board the ship. So we're running on supplies. We were due to arrive in Yibrit.
Sorry.
He's gone. He's totally gone.
Sorry. That was so
Sorry, it just got me.
When are we running? When are we running?
Or just him in the
It was
room?
blue. It was
Yeah,
blue.
Us two.
It was just
Banter,
how
just banter.
offended.
You were saying-
Sorry, we're on our way. How long will it take us to get to Yibrit?
We were scheduled to arrive in 5 days' time, but at the pace we're setting now, unless we can get a second sail up at the least, it would take us weeks to get there, especially against the wind. The beauty of having all 3 sails up is it gives us more flexibility depending on which way the wind is coming from. It gives us more speed. If the weather is unfavourable with 1 sail, we'd barely be moving forwards unless we have a tailwind. We, scavenging around what we've got on the ship, we think we have the rough materials at a stretch to do repair works to one of the masts. Some canvas, not a full set of sails, but at least some. The mast itself, you may have noticed on board, the low section of the back sail, would have been the back sail, has actually survived a lot of the damage. It's charred, but is still sturdy. The main flames and fire damage was to the top half. So the upper mast and the cross beams have all gone. We have materials, but unfortunately most of our tools are gone. The entire workshop has almost been emptied by these creatures, even down to ridiculously small things: hammers, saws, nails, carpentry equipment. So whilst we have some timber and some cloth, we're plastering over some quite devastating damage here. We think it'll take probably about 2 days to get the damage to the ship sorted so that we're seaworthy, especially the hull below deck. The patchwork we did is fine, but in a storm it needs to be watertight, and it's, yes, as I say, about 2 days. Which leads on to, well, a favour I must ask upon the 3 of you again. With most of our senior crew departed, I need to stay on board the ship. I need to protect the crew, and more importantly, need to supervise the repair work. I am one of the few that can tactically and sort of mechanically put the ship back together. I have a list of things that we require from the island. I will share with you what information from my ledgers I have on the island, we captains. Whilst we treasure the maps and the information we have very valuably, I think sharing with you everything I know about the island and the population on it would help you. But I've assembled a small list of goods which if you could track down in the 2 days that we're likely in port, you would, pass the 0 over. Thank you. The list is a very long list of pretty much the entire ship's contents that's missing, but a few items take their notice.
I sort of close one eye to read it.
Exactly. A few items take more importance than others.
Hang on. Let's write this down so we don't forget.
Skim milk.
It's the apprentice task where it's like
Shopping list.
a cloche.
Crafting and workshop tools such as saws, hammers, nails, carpentry equipment essentially, that could be used to cut and install timber in place, remove burnt objects. Second entry of note that you find is canvas, or at least thick cloth that could be used as replica sails. Tar is a third. The captain explains to you that it's very unlikely to find, if there's civilization on the island, it may be possible to be, if not tar, then at least some sort of replica resin or thick substance that we could use to attempt to waterproof some of the holes below deck. And food. Any perishable food that you can gather from the island as well.
Excellent. Sounds like a shopping trip.
After talking to you, you've sort of all been eating, you've got your food. He asks, may I ask, the one place we haven't searched in the ship are your quarters. I assume your goods, are they still intact, or...
We never checked.
We did look.
They messed up my system.
Well, you would have had a little bit of an opportunity to go through it in the time you've spent there. Blue, actually, probably not. So you would go and have a look at a later point.
We all just stand up and leave
Yes.
in the middle of the conversation.
My explorer's pack would have been in my trunk, as I would not have picked that up during the fight.
I would assume all of your
everything was
adventuring explorer
apart
packs
from my
would
great
have been
axe wasn't it?
Transylvania
Yeah.
Are
or
they
something.
still
So I
there?
can. So, going through the goods in your trunks, I'd like you all to roll a D100 for me.
Oh my
please.
god! Yay!
Hang on.
Oh no, don't roll that.
I've
Doesn't
not
count.
even taken that one out of the.
I know.
Now, at the beginning of the campaign, when I told these guys to make characters up, we used custom backgrounds. So,
You're gonna release
Oh my
that?
God.
are
can I
you using
roll
the
that
actual
one, please?
D100?
What does that mean though?
Sorry, I'll just.
Is that 19?
19. So when we made the characters, we used custom backgrounds. So instead of, I think that the player's
What
handbook
sort of
has
deal,
things like
actually?
criminal, hermit, fake hero, this sort of thing. We all used one called custom. And because we were making
40,
level
I
2
think.
characters, I told everybody that you could have any 2 skills they wanted and 1 expertise skill or expertise in a set of tools of their choice. And basically they used the custom to effectively make their own character. So I know that, if you don't mind me sharing a little bit, Theren, yours was, you picked a couple of skills and then I think you had intimidation as your own expertise. Was that the one?
Interrogation techniques.
Exactly.
Yay!
Whereas you could also choose musical instruments or professional tools or whatever. So feel free to share what you want when it comes up. But the important thing was I gave everybody 150? Was it 150 or was it more
Yeah.
than that?
It was 125.
Yeah, I never got 25.
So we got
yeah.
25 from the first sort of
That's
session
it.
that
So
you haven't seen.
125 gold instead of the starting equipment, the class, and the
From the background, yeah.
background that gives you. And they could spend 125 gold on whatever they want, and they had a sea chest, and everything they own is in a sea chest. Probably, like a sort of 5 foot by 2 sort of very safe container. So they all did this off screen. Now, your D100, if after your equipment purchases you had spare gold, you now lose gold that was in your chest, so that the maximum value you could possibly have, unless you had less than this to start with, in which case there's there's no loss, is the D100 roll that you just rolled.
Fuck.
So for instance, 19. How much gold did you have in your sea chest?
Oh, I had 105.
You now have 19 gold. Random
Why
gold.
did you ask?
Random gold scattered around. It was so that if you had less
So you
anyway,
feel the pain.
I
Great.
was gonna just half it or something.
6.
6.
Oh no.
No.
How much gold did I have? and
What
how-
did you roll in your D100?
I rolled 40.
14. How many gold did you take onto the ship with you?
125.
Unfortunately, you now have 40 gold.
I have a question though, because we were given the 25 from the first job, and
I
that
counted
also
that
went
in
in the seed chest.
I can't.
You can tell me, and I will believe you either way, where you would have kept
It
them.
would have been put in the seed chest.
There we
Yeah,
go.
same.
There we go.
Motherfucker.
But it is not the only thing. Everything has been disturbed. Items have been thrown. Your knickknacks, haberdashery, and sets of various sort of kooky charms are everywhere. Probably, I'd say 30% of the goods, to your mind, are just broken beyond repair. Just the charms are gone. The things are broken. Still, a good chunk of them are there.
I'm gonna be
Theren,
attacked by monkeys.
there are
any
some
second.
nasty-looking sort of just oozy stains on a couple of pairs of clothing that you've taken with you. You think that they could be washed, but at the moment it's unwearable.
I think they need fire.
Aubrey, so the sort of things in your entire explorer pack
Yeah.
is gone.
Brilliant.
But for the other
fine.
two,
It's just weapons.
all of your rations have been taken. It looks like the explorer packs have been opened and vigorously searched through, and the food is something that has been taken. Food, shiny objects, anything that looked important. Now, all of you put your armour on and took your weapons with you
Yep.
during the fight, so
Yep.
you have all of
We're
those.
idiots.
Exactly.
Do I have my instrument?
Now, your instrument, would you have taken it with you? As a
I
bard?
didn't mention it.
But would you have used it for your spellcasting? Because you would have had it with you at that point.
I only use Philip,
Yeah, you
and my other spells don't need,
don't need a weapon, do
material element.
they? Yeah.
Odd or even?
Oh my god. Oh, do you want
I'm doing it.
No.
do you want a double 1 or 2?
I'll
I've
do
got
it.
a special
He's
dice.
got the.
Oh, you've got special 1 or
Yeah.
2 dice?
Yeah.
There we go.
Even.
Sat in your box. damaged but still functional.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Is your instrument.
Can I have my dice back?
Thank you.
Like that. I've never seen a D2 before.
It's
That's
great.
Oh, I've already. It took me an hour to do the drawing already.
Blue, is everything alright? You weren't you about to have a heart attack just then?
It's my instrument is still here. It's good. It's good.
Well, all my food's gone and most of my money, over half at least.
We'll be okay. Beggar's
I
Bowl.
just shut the chest and walk out.
Is it just me or is she being oddly quiet today?
Lady things. Sorry, I couldn't say that.
Nope.
No, reject that.
No, you
Please.
can't. No, you can't. It's
DM says
canon.
retraction does not work.
I think she's, give her some space. We've all had a tough time.
Alright, yes, you're probably right.
On the other hand,
Yes.
we could be really annoying and ask her lots of questions.
Why don't we find the happy medium of we'll just go find her and ask
Look
her...
in her chest.
No, and ask her if everything is alright.
Okay.
Like friends would do.
Yeah.
Friends do not look through other people's chests.
I have heard this. Sorry, I come from a family where it's all very open.
No, it's alright, you don't know half the things about my family. Right. With Blue in tow, I every so often just kind of using him to stabilise myself. I want to go out and I want to find Aubrey.
Hey, Obo.
I'm climbing the crow's nest
Okay.
to see, look out on the thing. So I'm probably already all the way up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. You make your way up. The
Good luck.
middle mast is actually undamaged enough.
Yeah. No, yeah. I wouldn't
to
climb
get
up. I
to
wouldn't
the
climb
top.
up. the
No,
damage
you're
one.
fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
I
So-
climb up.
Make me, whilst you're up there,
Yeah.
you make me put another perception check, but this time with advantage.
I thought you were going to say deception check. That's
Lofty elevation.
16 and 3. So 16 plus 1,
Nice.
17.
17.
What ships do I see?
Looking
Yeah,
around.
well,
Also just steadily stopping every so often.
I saw the seagulls pass.
Get them to move away.
There's too many of them.
In front of the ship, coming into view, getting larger all the time, is the island you're approaching. And as you get closer, the greys, they become richer and suddenly less grey and more blacks and whites and browns and sort of colours. In front of you, you see the formation of what appears to be multiple mountains. So almost formed, it's difficult to say because you can only see it from one direction, but it looks essentially like somebody has taken like a party crown like shape.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of up on both sides and then sort of in various peaks as it goes around. You can see various outlying mountainous and hilly crops in the sides of the seas beside the island. So you can see that whilst the main island in the centre is sort of fairly contained, there are other little islands around it, and it looks very jagged and dangerous. Certainly not a particularly safe place to bring a ship, but still the captain on the wheel navigating seems to know what he's doing. You notice that the mountain face doesn't seem to have any obvious end to it. It's just a flat surface, effectively. While you're up there, after spending a little bit of time, you watch Theren climbing the crow's nest.
Slowly but surely.
making his way up.
I don't know.
Just momentarily, it's difficult to see, but you think you see something on the horizon behind the ship, almost out of sight, but it's gone behind the waves before you can. And you don't know if you've seen anything. It could be nothing.
Famous last words. Okay.
Oh god.
Or it could be nothing.
Tone is everything.
Why is everything so tiring? Are you alright?
Yeah, I just need some air. All my stuff's gone. Everything. Apart from, and I point to the great axe on my back and then all the weapons I've got. Just sea chest and 6 gold.
I reach in the purse where my gold is at my side, take out half of what I have.
I put my hand on it. No.
No,
It's fine. Let's not be awkward British people about this.
What am I going to spend it on, honestly?
It's fine. If anything, we should pool our money together and see, if these people on this points of the island, if they trade, we at least have some gold. I don't know much about the island. Is their economy very good? Like, would a gold feed a family for 5 years?
Well, it's called Beggars Bowl, so let's
when you're ready, Captain Grumac did say that you could meet him in his by the wheel, and he'd take you to see the ledger of information that he keeps from the island.
Fair enough.
All right, we'll pull it together. But are you all right?
Fine. I'm never better. I feel great.
I can tell you're lying, and I don't know why.
This is my happy face. A really bizarre smile.
Why do your eyes look like they're screaming?
Those are my angry eyes. No, it's fine, Theren.
Maybe an insight check. Just on something.
That is 18.
It's nothing about Aubrey's mood or the way that she's acting, but it's just after the comment you make about the eyes. Perhaps it's a reflection from the sky or against the sea or something, but there's a moment where, as she proclaims her happiness, you almost see, it's difficult to put, just like a flash, like a rumbling of thunder behind the eyes.
Alright.
I ship it.
from the deck.
But then it's gone. And again, you don't know.
It's fine. Don't worry. You can go down. Meet with the captain. I'll be right there.
Alright.
Yeah.
And I head down. Can I find Blue on the way to the captain?
I'm sure you can.
Can I be offering my smith skills to anyone who looks like they're trying to fix something?
You can. Yes. So there are a few hours there. Make me, smithing, I would say, give me a constitution check, but with your expertise.
Ooh.
Hey. Okay.
Nice.
18, 19, 21.
Okay.
Whoa.
And it's expertise, so it's 23.
We'll come back to that in a sec.
Okay.
Definitely not.
23, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Nice.
that 18 plus constitution 1 plus expertise 4.
Perfect.
Good.
Very good. Yep, double your proficiency bonus, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
What are you doing?
Helping?
Oh. Well done. That's very thoughtful of you.
And actually, you do see where Blue is essentially working the rivets that have come loose in the battle of one of the nets from the sails into the side of the ship, and he's actually helping a member of the crew quite ably reattach sort of ropes and then also the metal fastenings to the side of the ship. He does it, and he sort of does it on and off throughout the morning, but actually looks like a fairly accomplished job.
Oh, well done, Blue. I'm very impressed. I turn to the crew member that Blue's helping. I'm very sorry. I need to borrow my friend.
Well, it's okay.
All right.
See you, Ben.
Okay. He sort of wanders off.
Good luck. We should go and talk to the captain now.
Cool.
In terms of Aubrey, don't ask her how she is when you see her. She's putting on a brave face, but she's
Angry?
oh, very angry. Yes,
I hope she can channel that into a constructive force.
You say you. Forgive me for being quite blunt here, but you every so often you're sort of what we call on Aubrey an idiot savant. Do you know what that means?
I'm not a servant.
Never mind. I drag him to find the captain.
Okay. Captain reads you by the wheel and takes you across to his quarters. where, as if you want to go with, you can, otherwise you can stay.
No, I was wondering, can I, with not many people noticing, go down to the bottom level?
Okay,
Cargo.
we'll do all that.
Yeah,
separately then.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
perfect. We'll
No
do
worries.
that. So, two of you make your way to the captain's quarters, and again, the room, whilst was fairly well kept and presentable before, is now a state of chaos. Clearly he's been fixing things where he can, moving things back to shelves that have been torn off, books everywhere, various goods are gone, there's at least a few bowls, plates, sort of spirit flasks all broken in various places. He's tried to sort of put things back together but has given up as other tasks among the ship have brought him. But he goes to his desk and through a big sequence of keys that he keeps under his shirt, sort of big thing, gets it out, fiddles around until he finds a very, very small silver key that he uses to unlock this ancient looking, very dark wood chest with 3 compartments in it. You can see, I said chest, I mean desk, so the sort of central drawer where you can sit under it. You can see maps have been slightly torn away from the windows but have been sort of presented. Various books within reaching distance. You can see a quill and ink that have been spilled but still around there. It's very
like a vanity table.
presented.
Yeah.
Exactly, that sort of thing.
But a captain's one.
A captain's vanity table, exactly. And he brings out what he describes as a ledger and you describe more as an elephant book. This thing is probably about this big. And instead of hardback cover, it almost looks to be extremely finely detailed planks of wood that have been beautifully carved into patterns with big, almost like rope, but more like silk, contained and binding this book up. It's work of beauty, but also size. It's a very weird juxtaposition of sort of very intricate, but just very out of place. He sets it onto the table, opens it up, and starts flicking through what appears to be almost an encyclopedia of notes. This thing, 200, 300 pages of just scribbles, and you can see not just scribbles of writing, but hand-drawn diagrams, things crossed out, things written vertically, backwards, arrows, annotations. The thing's chaos, but it seems to be a collection of memories, advice, knowledge, and he finds his way after sort of a minute or two to a chapter of sends it out, and you see beautifully sort of embossed calligraphy at the top, the Beggars Bowl. And the page is disappointingly very empty. There's not much written in it compared to other pages where you see chaos. One of the things you do notice over his shoulder at the top is warning. Consider not going here.
Can I just quickly lean over to Blue and very quietly go, is it just me, or is that the perfect analogy for our adventures so far?
Yep.
He rifles through and
Why?
he's reading for a second or two.
Sorry.
Not going.
And he proceeds to tell you a random assortment of facts of various stories that have been accumulated. You can tell not only his stories, but there are different levels of handwriting, different pens, different styles. So clearly not just his memories, but other stories that have been collected. You discover, based on this and Blue's knowledge, the island is a loose circle shape of raised hills and mountains, so that come out of the sea and almost contain it in a sort of crown shape. You know that the inside of the island is supposed to be very low-lying, and in fact, while some of it is forested, there are other reports of somebody has scribbled on the side, bring heavy boots, swamp, and underline swamp 3-4 times.
Not subtle, these captains.
Oh no, this thing is very practical.
Yeah,
As people get thoughts, they write them down, and if another captain at some point has gone and looked at the book and agreed, they might have underlined it a couple of times or arrowed it.
Circle, arrows pointing at it.
Exactly.
Confirmed. Dated.
Exclamation points.
Cave is written at one part.
Ooh.
Lake has been drawn sort of and pointing arrow to the middle of the island.
Where the cave is referenced.
No, cave
No,
just
okay.
question mark.
Cave
There's
just
just cave
question
question mark on the map, and then lake has been sort of roughly drawn, but to be honest, it just looks like an ink splodge that somebody's accidentally left on the page, and then somebody else has used it as a lake, and they've drawn it as an arrow into the centre of the island. At the location very vague. The one thing that really takes your notice is known individuals, and then crossed out, and organisations present on island. And a couple of words strike you. So, ogres, circled, unhappy face. Literally, somebody has drawn a
Sad.
face, frowny face.
I'm just imagining Theren and Blue just watching this whole thing with like quills on hands going like ogres, unhappy face.
With an arrow pointing down to cat folk, question mark, in brackets and a different right, tabaxi. And then somebody else has written definitely tabaxi. Never met but certain. And then someone else has written below it, you sure?
Like
Another arrow drawing and pointing to a third point of the triangle, lizard folk, dangerous.
Oh, shit.
And an arrow pointing from lizard folk to ogres. What this means, you're not sure.
Okay.
Captain Grumac sort of is peering under the book, and he sort of is a bit just under, like, by where the binding is. He looks around and he goes, that's either crocodiles or cannibals. I'm not sure. He sort of closes the book. Take your pick.
Well, whichever one it is, Captain, inevitably we'll have to fight them, so I don't think it quite matters.
Yes. The tales I've learned, and certainly the things I've added to this book, are that the island is generally avoided because there's not much there that people would need. Access to it is difficult. My plan is to take the ship and to anchor us just off the coast of the hills right to the south of the island where, well, unfortunately you will be having to climb up and over the ring, but it's as close as we can get the boat and hopefully out of sight of most of the traffic. There are various other islands that I seem to remember that we could hide the ship behind.
Would I know if the Order has much of a presence on Beggars Bowl?
Maybe a history check with advantage.
Right, well, that one fell off.
Go on then.
Much better.
Right, that is a 18.
18. Strangely enough, no, you don't remember any tales of the Order having a presence there.
Right.
Nice.
When I say there's not much here, I really do mean that. It is essentially a bowl of swamp. There's no arable land, there's no trade reason that people be here. Generally this island is avoided, and because of that lack of civilization, I mean, you can see from the book various tales of groups involved, but I'm hoping through a combination of things that perhaps other people have been on the island, perhaps there are. These tales could be tens of years old, generations old. I don't know what's on the island. I personally have never been. These organisations, these groups of individuals, they may have supplies that you could barter for, trade for, intimidate, whatever you feel is the best course of action. But our plan, once we're docked, we can take the sails down, do the repair work whilst the ship is in anchor. We plan on staying for 2 days. We need to be back in Yibret soon. Our contact is not the sort to wait, and we are already likely to arrive days late. We can't risk it, and I'll be honest, I don't know if we're being followed. I feel like I can hide the ship fairly well amongst the islands, and depending on whether they've sent us come here, whatever this threat is, I can't afford to stay here too long. Once the second sail is here, I really want to be there. I really want to be gone. We plan on leaving sunset in 2 days' time. We will wait, if we can, a third day, to the sunset on the third day, but if you're not back by that point, we will have to go.
We won't miss the deadline. We'll be there.
Thank you. You must understand, Miss, me leaving you like this is not an indication that I don't value your lives. It is purely, once you descend into this bowl, contact will be... No, we won't be able to contact each other. I will not know what has befallen you. If you're not here in 3 days, for all I know, you might be lost or worse. It's difficult to say.
Well, if the rumours, or rather, if this page of yours is to be believed, I would suggest keeping a guard present at all times.
Yes, we definitely will. One of the guards has been assigned to the watch to the crow's nest once we land. The crew will be mainly busy, and I'm having to draft some of the guards in to help with the actual repair work, but we will keep a presence, and I will be here as well.
How are we gonna transport a ship's canvas over mountains? Do you have any donkeys? Or no, you don't have any donkeys. We'll
No.
need to get donkeys.
I'm afraid I can't even offer you a cart. I'm afraid your
Oh,
Let's see if we
ingenuity...
can procure one, if there is a settlement or...
Befriend some ogres. Carry.
At this point, Blue, anything you can provide. We can get back to Yibrit with what we've got on the ship, but it is tight, we will be slow, and we will be hungry. Anything you can provide whilst we are docked here would improve our situation, and we don't know what speed we'll need. We don't know what the weather will be like. We don't know what the threats will be like. We have to prepare for everything.
Captain, if I may ask one final thing.
Please.
This list you provided us of things that you require, is there, say, an internal list you have of how important they are? Like which...
Generally speaking, looking through the list, the things we have identified are the importance.
I'm not hoping for a 1, 2, 3 of those.
Oh, these sort of things about it. Supplies are probably the most important, but probably the hardest to acquire. If somehow on the second day we see you descending from the mountains equipped with several complete sails and masts, I'll be honest and say that it would be sight to sore eyes, but being honest, anything, even tools and food supplies, which may be easier to carry, would be of benefit to us.
Right. Are you ready?
Let's find Aubrey.
Where has she gone?
So, what I would like you to do
Yes.
is make for me a stealth check.
Oh no.
Try to descend into the ship without being seen.
Oh god. I keep saying, oh no, it's a +2. It's
Really good.
That's a 12 though.
12. Okay.
It's almost like you have no negative stats.
I know, but I'm always like, oh, it's only a +2.
No. They've seen your stats, but the audience has seen your stats.
They're ridiculous.
Fiona, your ridiculous, genuinely rolled and recorded stats. So it's not cheating. You genuinely rolled
did.
them whilst taking a video
I
and
was
then
like,
sent it to
yeah,
us.
and then, oh my god.
Yeah.
This.
It was ridiculous.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Ridiculous. Taking a couple of minutes to watch various crew members to and from their work on the ship, their various posts. You manage to slip your way down, and you think fairly uncertain make your way into the decks of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to the second floor,
Mm-hmm.
you hear various noises from inside one of the crew's quarters. You can see that a couple of the crew are attempting to get a bit of rest. The door remaining open, and it seems like one of the crew sort of sat in the corner of the room with eyes out the door,
Mm-hmm.
just sort of almost sleeping sat up rather than on the hammocks that are slung from various corners of the, various nukes of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But you think you can make your way to the second floor unseen
Mm-hmm.
and to the trapdoor,
Mm-hmm.
which broken and just physically damaged.
Mm-hmm.
One lock is still locked.
I did forget that. Okay,
It appears that Captain Grimac has been back down and resealed
that
on
one.
the bottom deck.
Is there a way that I can break the lock without, but then, but not pull it off, but be able to crunch,
Key hand.
I see
Okay.
this as a very,
So
very
you
strong.
want to just essentially pull the lock apart.
Pull the lock apart, but then be able to at least look like it's closed. It doesn't have to work. Just look like if someone looks at it, it goes, oh,
Okay, well we'll see. You're not a lock picker,
no,
so
I wasn't planning to.
we'll see. We'll see. Make a strength check
I can do that.
Brawny, are
with
you?
proficiency.
Ooh, okay. That's a +6 then. Ooh, that was 11.
11. You sort of wrap your fingers around the inside of the lock and grab it with the other hand and pull and strain against it. You feel it moving, but you can't get the strength to open it.
Fine. I will.
That's going to be a fairly difficult DC
Yeah.
to do like that.
Yeah, that's fine. Fine, I will. Do I do it? Yeah, she does it. I rage,
You rage.
and I smash it with a hand axe.
Okay. So,
Can you hear that?
instead of making a roll for damage,
Mm-hmm.
you're clearly going to get through this thing. I would like you to make me a sleight of hand check
Oh no.
with disadvantage because of the raging. The raging lets you open this
Yes,
thing,
yeah.
but also means that the subtlety may be lacking.
Oh no. Still +2. There's a 14. Please be higher. 17. So 16 total.
16 total. Just with the axe, you just mutter under your breath and just blank. And your axe comes down just on the joint of the thing. You just hear a snap as the actual metal bar that comes into the lock snaps and rotates off, so the lock sort of pulls away open. You don't think it could... it's
That's fine.
broken now.
That's fine.
But
Yeah.
you think you could just about make it seem
Yeah.
that it was closed, but it's broken.
Fine. Not a problem.
But opens up.
Excellent. I go downstairs.
Go downstairs. Below deck, you see the same room. It is now pitch black down here. There were various lights that have been set up, but the deck down here is pitch black.
Okay. I feel a way across to where the true cargo is.
Yes.
Remind me. So you said it was like scroll cases.
Yeah, they look like scroll cases. Effectively, we're talking about cylinders, maybe sort of that thick, and maybe about that long. They're fairly heavy.
And he showed us what was inside. So could I take the stuff from inside, or is it? Would my knowledge of these so I know what the cases are. Obviously, I recognise them as my own. Were they used as sort of like handling hazardous, dangerous elements? Like I wouldn't know, like not to touch this with my bare hands. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, from what you would know,
Yeah.
You recognise them as scroll cases.
Right.
So generally speaking, they are used to store either magical scrolls or
Right.
general manuscripts. They are designed to stop impacts from the sides and from above and below, rumpling or
Right.
damaging
Okay.
whatever material
Yeah.
is in there that's rolled up. You know, however, that it is designed for manuscript, effectively.
But also, it would be, if it is a dangerous thing, I don't want it to be crushed. Because basically, what I'm doing is I would like to take one.
Yeah.
But leave the scroll case, so I've taken it and put it in a bag or hold it on me.
Okay. No.
But
Well, you've
yeah.
seen Captain Grumac open it.
did he
the day
hold?
before.
But did he hold it? Did he hold
What?
it in his hand, or did he just like show it?
He opened it, sort of screwed it open, showed it,
Okay.
and you could see it, but he did not touch it.
Right then. Then I'll just take the scroll case then.
Okay.
One scroll case. Hide stuff. Go back upstairs.
Okay. So you put it on your material. You can mark down. You have one container, or what do we call it? One scroll case of Arcanite,
Excellent.
and in brackets you can put 10,000
gold. Yeah.
question mark.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't know that for certain, but
I don't know
certainly-
that. That's fine. Yeah. So I just take that and try and make it look like no one's been down there. So as if there's not one missing. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
if it's
you
one
want to
from
hide
there-
your tracks. Let's go this time for a survival check. They're trying to gauge what you think would give away your presence.
Okay. As a
I mean,
plus
you
one.
know the broken lock is going to be something.
Oh yeah,
But
that's fine.
you can see what you
I've
can do.
made my bed on that. Survival check, normal, right? So 11.
11. It's normal for you. It's probably like +7. Let's be fair. So 11.
Yeah.
So I got
11.
someone
You
said it.
rearrange a couple of scroll cases. You make it seem like there's not a noticeable gap by
Yeah.
kind of moving them around. You put the thing back over. But yeah,
Sweet. Yeah, and then I walk up as if, put everything, like, shut the trapdoor, put the lock back to it, and then just walk up, presumably to bump into these two.
yeah, who are now sort of finishing their conversation. So, unless there is anything else you would like to do,
I've dropped my rage,
but
but I'm not
you're
coming up.
sort of helping with the fixing of the ship as you're going about.
I've dropped my rage. I'm not coming up angry.
Yes, to be fair, the time taken to deal with the archives.
I'm just making.
I think she's having trouble pooping.
Exactly, you've managed to.
Yeah, it looks like I've got away with it for now. Sounds good.
Okay.
So classy.
There's a cat outside.
That's the cat.
Backsy outside.
Tabaxi.
I would also like to help the crew in any way I can until we get there.
Okay, brilliant. In that case, what sort of thing do you want to do? Using your skill set, your character, what sort of thing would Theren help with?
I'm assuming some basic kind of repairs, or just sort of like tending to the weapons, making sure they're all fine in the case they're needed again.
Okay.
Probably the latter. The latter sounds more like his gig.
Okay, that sounds like an intelligence check for me.
Go on.
Great.
Go on.
Hey!
That's 19.
19.
We are so helpful in menial chores.
All the rolls.
It's like we're the B team built for support.
There we go.
NPCs matter.
And, robbing the ship that's taking us places.
We don't know that.
What?
What?
Who said that? Who said what?
I don't know.
Cool. Sort of 2.5 hours go by as the ship slowly approaches the island. As you get closer and closer, you realise the island, whilst looked sort of fairly comically like a sort of crown from a distance, as you get closer you see the smaller peaks. You see the islands jutting out into the sort of sides. You realise that this island it's fairly big. So the place, just to put it in, just to give you some reference, which one was visited? Gelen was the island that you first visited on our prequel episode before we started filming, which was about 3 miles by 1. You would hazard a guess that this island is probably about 4 miles in either direction, in a sort of circular, slightly oval shape. Approaching, the ship sort of banks to the left and starts circling, taking care to avoid the close proximity of some of the larger looking stones that are jutting out from the sides of the sea. You can see the sea frothing and foaming angrily as the waves hit against the sides of these rocks, and it looks, even with a still day, the waves are fairly brutal. Eventually, you make your way to the southern side, where there are far more of these rocks and mountains jutting out from the sides of effectively into the water, and the boat, very slowly, with all crew coming from above deck and helping to man the sails and adjust and trim, the captain shouting continuously, manages to pull the boat into and round a few of the nastier looking mountains into this gap, effectively against a flat cliff wall along the side of the Beggars Bowl. Either side you can see, pointing out to sea, various rocks and mountains that effectively obscure the view of the ship. You think it's not completely hidden, but certainly from a lot of directions on the horizon the ship would not be visible. You're summoned to the deck, and he sort of takes you over where a small, it looks almost, to say sort of life raft would be an exaggeration. It is essentially a small landing boat, probably built for about 2 people. It's been taken from one of the supply rooms and lifted,
stuck between us,
lifted up the stairs. Like literally, it's that small that it could be just sort of like around corridors and out, and is slowly beginning to sort of be set up to be lowered and winched down the side. By the side is a small bag that Captain Grimac sort of picks up and hands. He goes to give it to Blue, who at the time is the closest person, and gives it to Aubrey, and said, I'm afraid it's not much, but it should be 2 days' supplies in terms of food, rations, water, that you would need for all 3 of you. I don't want to give you more, you can understand. We're very low ourselves, but that should give you enough to get onto the island, get what you need, and then come back. I'm hoping as well there may be ways that you can feed yourselves on the island once you're there, but
I hope so.
I'm sure you'll find a way.
We'll be back as soon as we can.
Please. Good luck.
And to you.
He sort of nods, and the three of you are moved to the boat. It starts rocking very unsteadily,
It's very low in the
almost
water.
counter-rocking against the rocking of the boat. And now that the boat has stopped moving, the rocking is much more exaggerated as it sort of rocks against the anchor that has now been left. And you are lowered very unsteadily and very jumpily as the boat goes, and it lurches down maybe a couple of centimetres every time as somebody cranks it around as you're lowered into the water.
Okay.
On the way down, Captain Grumac gives you instructions. He says if you follow the cliff face eastwards for 10 minutes, you should reach a bay, effectively, that you can beach the boat on. He says beach it, drag it onto shore, put some rocks in it, and it should be there by the time you get back. And you are left to do the next part of our little adventure as the boat is loosened from its tethers, starts floating out, oars are taken from out, and whoever wants to row, there's only really space for one person to row.
I'll row, it's fine.
There we go.
I'll get there quicker.
And we'll take a break
Yeah.
now as we get ready to this. And yeah, we're going to the Beggars Bowl. Hooray!
Sounds good.
So, come back, we're going to grab a drink and see you in a second. Woo, woo.
His eyebrows are raised.
Oh,
Into the-
welcome
into the-
back.
Oh,
You come back to some terrible jokes. They're
how long
definitely
have you
not
been there?
derogatory or... This is really full. I've got to be really...
I like that you had the glass half lift and this kind of, like, you know, those
Oh.
adverts where you go, oh,
I didn't see
hello
that.
there.
I didn't see that.
You've just caught me there,
Can we
staring
get-
into a
Can we
camera.
get like a TV on the wall here just with like fake fire on it? Like a fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
And I can sit here in like one of those real like...
Why does it have to be a TV? Let's just have a fire.
No, you could just draw a digital painting and just flick it between two like
Crayon on
screens.
the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, or just like one of those, the 3D pictures that change depending on how you look at it. Just two different...
I
You
just
see now-
move it.
This
Sam,
is the
what I
entire-
would do if I was you is get the TV fixed, have it as a fire, and just like every so often just splice like 1 second of porn behind Ryan's head. So he's like, oh, you've just caught me in front of my fire porn.
And this is the sort of
This is the
intellectual
concept.
conversation we have on off camera, I
already.
should say,
So-
and on camera.
D&D.
So let's
Yes.
jump back in
The furthest away from porn we can go.
into the porn.
No,
The three of you
I'm in the boat.
descend into the choppy seas in your little boat, squished in. Aubrey, you get the only real good stool.
good seats.
Blue and Theren, you can choose to awkwardly sit next to each other, very squished in, or maybe one kind of on the floor, in between.
I mean, you could just sit on Blue's lap.
I have a sinking feeling
Oh.
that Blue will be sat on the seat,
Yeah.
and Theren will be between the two, kneeling with his head just over the side.
Still sick.
And you
Just
very
trying to get it
quickly,
all up.
you learn it's not such a good idea because the sea really does go. Just that salty taste. You just can't get rid of it. The sound of the waves crashing against the hull.
Theren's bad day.
Now that you're in the boat beside the Athena, which now looms large in the water, you can see the damage to the outside of the ship. It looks like the hole that you repaired, there is another second hole round the corner that is much smaller, but it appears like they've tried to work at it and they've given up, but it's still not watertight, so work to be done on the ship and you can't see the other side of it still. So, I would like, so as you are rowing,
They're ready. They're
can you
ready.
make me a strength check, please?
I can indeed.
Ooh, this will be good.
I love how we didn't even plan that.
That's a 9
9.
for just a straight strength check.
Okay. Can you make me a constitution check for me, please?
Oh, me.
Ooh.
Also, Ryan, if I could
Oh.
do this.
Oh!
Secrets.
You may.
Okay, so
Okay.
constitution check, which is a +3. Oh, that's a 19, so
19, okay.
22.
You, after a couple of minutes of rowing, you really start to feel it, and you're having to fight against the waves. This tiny, very full boat, far too low in the water.
Yeah.
You're having to fight against it and really put more effort into it than you'd imagine. But you sort of grit your teeth and really get into it, and you eventually, after sort of 25 minutes of rowing, more than you thought, but still, you get there, you find your way coming round the east side of a particularly sort of jutted cliff, with the Athena just sort of going out of sight behind it. You make your way to a small pebble beach that appears to be as much a beach and more a sort of continuation of a landslide that's sort of come down the side of this sort of tall mountain that looms above you. But there's enough space for you to row, push the boat on shore. Blue and Theren sort of managed to sort of jump out, drag the boat onto the shore, and you sort of pull it against the cliff line, weigh it down with a couple of
make sure it's all right.
stones and that sort of thing. What would you like to do?
Is there, shrubbery we could put on top?
Not really.
Oh.
No, it's kind of like an empty sort of
As long as
pebble
it's
beach.
far enough out of, like, I'm guessing it's at low tide just now, or enough that we can
If there's any way we can conceal it from anyone who'd be nearby, then that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But there's nothing.
How deserted does this beach look?
Maybe a perception check.
We could put a really big rock in it that only we could lift.
3.
You can't see anything. No, there's not. It
Your
doesn't appear
eyesight's
to
gone.
be any life. No, I mean, occasionally you might get catch of like a small aquatic fish, crab, something sort of just into the water by some some pebbles. But no, there's nothing that you see in the immediate area.
Well, here's the thing, right? So we have this list of items we need to get. Correct?
Yes.
So is it better that we obviously hide this boat, but then make camp somewhere so that we can go off, bring stuff to the camp, and then go back as a sort of a base point? I'm thinking like, let's see what the most important things are.
So the only thing I would say to that is that looking above you,
Thanks.
there's sort of 250, 300 meters. You've got to climb to get to the top of whatever this ridge is, and then you drop down to the other side.
Oh, I thought.
So this little beach, there's no way in. Certainly there is a way to climb. The way that the sort of mountains have been jaggedly pushed and eroded by the sea means that it's almost like a sort of ridge that climbs up. So it's going to be half scrambling, half walking up a sort of very steep set of rocks.
We're going to be doing the Skyrim kind of glitchy getting up a mountain.
Essentially, just jumping.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's think. Like, what's the most important thing we need to get? Is it
Food?
Food.
Yes.
I thought so.
Food, and then there was some repair supplies. Then I think the sails will come as third.
It's ambitious, but yeah.
But here's the thing. So with food, like, I assume we've got like they've given us backpacks, or they've given us something to carry food.
So they have given you essentially
They've
a
got-
spare backpack, so you've got the equivalent of
2 days
a
ration.
regular pack, and you've got your 2 days
Yeah.
rations.
Okay.
But your explorer's pack was
Got
taken with
taken,
everything in it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
unfortunately. The two
That's
of
fine.
you still have your explorer's packs and everything that goes with them, apart from the items that we have said that you've lost. So you still have your equipment, but it's almost like your equipment is a little bit scarce. Oh. It's fine when you're level 15, like dragon slaying gods with unlimited funds. You'll look back on this
And love.
on a beach with no rope
Yeah.
and go, oh, those are the days.
Oh, we got no pittons.
What do
I,
you?
I do.
What do you have?
I have an entertainer's pack, which I forgot what was in
you
it.
can laugh your
An
way up to the top.
entertainer's pack. I'm sure I've got Tessa on that.
I'll Google it.
I want to close my hand over the holy symbol around my neck.
Yeah.
And I just want to kind of quietly to myself say, I'm lost. Anything?
That's fine.
You know.
As your hand sort of closes around the holy symbol and you feel it warm, and comforting and soothing, You feel a presence. It's just comfort, support, a need to go forward and a need to keep advancing, but there's nothing tangible to it. It's just, it's there. There's no words, there's no communication, but
Just a sense.
just a sense.
All right. We keep going. It's another choice. If we don't get all these supplies within 3 days, we're stuck here, and this place is not meant for us.
You good at climbing?
Well,
I have enough rope.
I've got some costumes.
So you have 50 feet
50
of rope?
feet of
50
rope.
feet of rope.
that's quite big.
And some candles.
Well, my suggestion to the group, Aubrey sort of like seems quite wise at this point. So I've got 2 hand axes. If we tie the ropes to each other, I could go up being the strongest of the 3, and then you guys could sort of not rock climb up, but sort of boulder your way up.
And looking at it's sort of scrambling, climbing, steep walking. You look at it and
Oh,
you
it's
think
not. Sorry,
it's not a cliff wall. No,
Okay.
we're talking. So if you imagine
No,
two juts that sort of come out, and you can kind of follow it up.
right.
So
The
there are
rope
no.
is a good idea.
Yeah, certainly you think that it is dangerous, but it can be done.
Okay.
I take the rope out. I tie the end around Aubrey.
Yep.
I sort of hand the rope to her. I'm like, would you please? Because I'm really bad at when it's on me. If you could just tie this around
I
me.
do I'm very tight, but it's not like a corset knot, but it's like.
Oh yeah, I should clarify. Aubrey gets military knotted.
Okay.
Constantly knotted.
So you're not on Aubrey. Do you want to make a sleight of hand check?
It's all
For
the
you
time.
as well. For you on Theren.
10.
Sleight of hand checks.
10.
Oh, that's a 19.
19. And then so you
I'll
Aubrey
be-
currently has the rope, the start of the rope tied.
Yeah.
Around me.
Theren, you've got
Like
the
the
end
mid-
of the rope,
Yeah.
or the middle of the rope, or
Middle.
Middle of the
and
rope.
then we turn on blue.
Do you want to, or
I mean, yes. I'll type
I mean,
it.
you can help each other.
Yeah, I'll help. Aubrey.
Yeah.
you take the lead? I'll assist you.
Okay.
Okay, move it on to Jim.
With sleight of hand. Good, because that was an 8. 11 or 13.
I'm dead.
Okay, the 3 of you are now tied together.
This
What
sounds like an
could-
awful time.
Thank God I've got an intelligence of 6, otherwise I would have.
This seems like a good idea.
It did 2 minutes ago.
I think this is a great idea.
Well,
So does the DM.
right,
Lead the way.
I go, but like suddenly, so I chop them all forward. Yeah.
Okay. The first sort of 20-30 meters are manageable. You can sort of pull yourself up, sort of basically just sort of, it's like
I guess we take
walking
our
with
time,
handholds
yeah.
effectively. There's no time pressure, that's
Yeah.
the thing. You're not choosing to rush this, you're taking your time over it. So, saying that, still I want you all to make an athletics check for me, please.
Nice. What's that? That's a 9.
23.
23,
14.
14,
25.
25. Okay.
Just like this, just chilling while you
There are
guys
a couple
carry
of
on.
moments, Blue, where just you look at maybe a steep bit and you're like, you see Aubrey's already done it. Theren's sort of waiting behind, and you're like, I have no idea how this is. And you kind of get assisted up as Aubrey continues to move up, but you make your way, assisted very ably by these two.
It's like
and
pedaling a bike and the last person isn't doing anything.
it takes you 45 minutes, an hour.
Okay.
That you get to the top. Looking down from the top, you sort of crest over this sort of just range of, and again, now you're up there, you can see the mountains ascend way above in certain areas. This is not a particularly high bit of the range, we're sort of 200 meters or so, but it's tall enough, but still not. When you look down, you see in front of you a sort of squee width but still circular basin. As the sun rises probably to maybe midday at this point. In the distance, you see this shimmering from all the way in this basin of standing water, you would imagine, and your thoughts go back to swamp. You see, again, the mountains and the hills just overlooking everything. You see trees covering almost the entirety. In some areas sparser than others, but forests there as well. Let me just get the bearings so that I can tell you this. So, the swamp seems to be thickest in the southeast of the island, from what you can see. The north side are where the mountains are tallest and most jagged. And the southwest are where the trees grow tallest. So if we think about this, you're stood on the south of it now.
Right, okay.
Your side, you've got the thick swamp to the southeast.
Oh, right.
And the tall trees to the southwest. And the trees in the swamp extend to the north, but the tallest mountains overlooking to the north.
Straight ahead.
We'll get I can draw a little funny map.
Oh, be cute.
At some point.
Yeah. We'll get Sam to do one. He's done one now.
Is there any signs for settlement?
That's a perception check. You notice how there are more perception checks than anything else in D&D.
And
I should
they
make
don't roll
more.
over for them
I
either.
keep trying to find other checks
9.
to do. 9.
Can I have a look at the formation of this basin?
Looking for anything particular? Or
Yes.
What,
The geographical makeup of this land.
what may have led to this formation? If it's something I could be familiar with from my backstory.
history. So, 9. What are you looking for particularly? Just
Any
settlements?
signs of settlements, like somewhere we can
Not
trade?
really. No, unfortunately, the problem with the canopy is that you can't really see to ground level in many places. Really, it's the shimmering occasionally that you see all scattered around the island where the water has caught the sun, but mostly it's just leaves. Again, you can see where the swamp is heaviest to the southeast of the island, but there's nothing that you can see particularly now. And what did you get for
12
12
history.
for history? I mean, we went through pretty much all you know about the island in terms of the tales, but looking around at the sort of the way that it's formed, it's very difficult to say. The sort of only geographically interesting things you can see, that certainly you can see where a couple of like maybe ranges and mountains have gone up together, and I mean, at a guess, you'd almost say that the middle bit of the island is almost lower than the sea, but you can't. It's difficult to say.
I can't
You
see
don't have
anything. Does anyone know? Does anyone have any sort of idea where do we even begin?
Well, if we're looking for food, best place is probably the forest, right? Things grow on trees.
Well,
I feel like we should keep away from the swamp area.
Yes, but it would take far too long to forage all the amount that the ship would need. Ideally, what we need to find are people.
You know, in the big book, they had ogres, tabaxi,
Yes.
cat people, and then the other one.
Lizard men.
That was it. Well, it was in a triangle.
Yes.
We're looking.
Oh.
Maybe, you know, there's triangle fruit that we could eat.
Right.
Where did you say the cat people were?
I can't remember. What difference does that make? We're talking about fruit. I don't know.
I think the forest might be the best place to check first.
Okay.
Ideally, the cat people, from what we saw in that book, seemed like the least likely to want to kill us on sight.
Maybe an edge check.
Ooh.
With the triangles, was it Tabaxi in the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, is that a
One
one?
was you tell me.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't write it down.
Natural one.
Natural one.
Then. Oh no.
Something tells you. Tabaxi. If you could guess, the name almost sounds like demonic. You wouldn't. Your hackles are well and truly up.
Grumpy cat.
There's something about Tabaxi I don't trust.
You've never met them.
You racist?
Yeah.
As in,
I think.
Let's have this conversation right now.
what?
Humor aside, both of you would be aware that there are very much evil creatures
Okay.
in
No,
the world of
I want to
Xerieos.
have this
But
argument
this
at the
is
top of the
hilarious,
mountain.
and I will allow this to pass.
Have this argument at the top of the
Very
mountain.
funny.
I'm more of a dog person, yeah.
I mean, in the order, we do have dogs as well. Cats are useless. Anyway, perhaps the
You
lizard...
hear the audience just being split apart.
the
It's
comment
like-
section are aflame.
And this table being split.
I don't know what you're
The
talking
lizard folk may be our best bet. Now, the question remains, where would lizard folk reside? Now, I feel it's only logical to imagine that the ogres would reside in the mountain regions.
Mm-hmm.
Lizards, I believe, could reside in jungles.
They like water, like lizards. I don't know lizard people, but lizards.
There seems to be lots of generalisation of people.
Are we being
Well,
racist?
Aubrey doesn't know. Can I ask again? This might
Yeah.
not metagaming per se,
Go
but
for
like
it.
Aubrey's history with traders and stuff. Anything from her stepfather's business? Have they dealt with Tabaxi or lizard people per se? Like, I know it's like different islands and stuff, but
Give me a general intelligence check. Let's see how much you remember from your trading.
While she's doing that, can I just quickly fix my chair?
You may.
no. What have you done to it?
I think one of the bottom bits has fallen off.
Oh no. Stuck to the floor.
There's a +1. 4.
4. You don't know.
I don't know. That's fine.
You don't know, maybe.
I wasn't really involved in the trade deal.
No,
so,
and
yeah.
a lot of these trades are fleeting at best.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Look, I say it's going to take us time to get down there and set our whereabouts. If we're going to spend a lot of time trying to find things, I say forest is our best bet because then we can hole up for the night, sheltered, compared to being exposed in a swamp area.
Agreed. To the forest.
Cool.
Good point.
I go dragging these two along with me.
Okay, so as you descend, this time the path down is a lot smoother, effectively. You can make your way at a more leisurely pace, but I will still get you all to make athletics checks. As you come down,
Oh, that's a nice one.
that's a nice one.
That's a nice one.
21.
What?
21.
22.
15.
Okay, between you easily make it down, and you descend, and as you sort of climb down the last sort of 10-20 meters, the ground below your feet starts to become less and less firm. You get that sort of spongy resistance as the grass becomes more and more sporadic, and sort of there's dirt and mud, and the swamp starts to take hold. In front of you, the trees are tall, 30-40 feet wide canopies that stretch over large sort of horizontal plains, very wide, not particularly tall trees in this area, but still big imposing trees that cover a lot of the sky. And you can see into the forest, it gets darker. Still, it's visible, it's still about 1 o'clock at this point, but it's quite quickly becomes very muggy and the sun doesn't quite hit the middle of the bowl very well from what you can tell. So you've made your way down and you want to start making your way to the forest.
Yes.
Okay. So, I would like.
Uh-oh. I think we untie ourselves by this point, by the
I'm
way.
assuming,
I'll put the
I'm
right
assuming
stuff in
you've
the back.
untied yourself at this point.
I have
that's
to
fine.
make sure, because I know sometimes it's like, oh, you all went around trees and then got
Can I
stuck.
say I picked up my instrument before we left ages ago?
I'm
but it's
assuming you have all your
you
stuff. with
right,
you.
sorry. Yeah.
And I want to suggest to Aubrey when we get down to the bottom and we untie that, given that I have a shield, I go first. As an animal.
So, what I was going to ask was, who is going to take the lead at trying to guide? Are you? So, I also want to know: are you going to try and skirt around the perimeter of the island, or are you going to go into the island to get into the heart of the forest? Again, it's all forest, but we're talking about the area where the trees
Right,
rise
are the darkest.
80, 100, 200 feet into the air. Big, tall trees. Well, not quite redwoods like California redwoods, but big, sort of broad
Yeah.
trees.
If we're guiding, then I'm bad to go first. I don't know a whit about.
Theren, you need to back yourself. I don't want to have another argument like we did on top of this mountain about being racist and whatnot, but is this about? Do I need to teach you about confidence?
Well, no. Ideally, what you do need to teach me about is how to navigate the way through a fucking forest.
I grew up in a forest. I'm not very good at navigating though, but
Again, back yourself.
Well, I will.
you seem very good at everything.
Well, I will happily follow, but I'm not the right person for this task.
Okay.
I'm happy to take the lead, guys.
Should we?
I'm also great at navigating.
Okay.
Okay.
You do it.
So, Aubrey taking the lead, and you're going towards the forest.
Yeah,
Okay. Can you make a survival check for me, please?
totally can. With my +1
Am
survival.
am I helping? Don't go. You're left.
You said that
Maybe
from the
you're
back.
right.
Okay,
Knowing that I'm more of a detriment than anything else, I stay shut up the entire time.
that is a 10.
10.
Oh.
Oh, I think that's what happened.
Oh no!
You're going to use this for ages.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh god.
Hang on.
What is it?
I'm just gonna.
I can't look, but I want to look, but I can't look.
You can't look. You can't look.
He's
It's
just
a
amazing.
suspense.
He's
This is
doing
amazing.
things with a book. And he's rolling
Oh,
dice.
we're rolling dice.
Do you want the 100 dice?
No!
He's doing a face.
That's not good.
That looks like a random encounter face.
That's almost too good.
No.
That's almost.
Do. I'm trying to remember the Pokemon
Okay.
random encounters
Oh, yeah.
song.
Diddly, diddly, diddly.
Oh yeah,
You make your way into the forest. The ground underfoot makes moving very slow. You are in difficult terrain, moving sort of half speed as you go. You try and navigate yourself to sort of walk over roots of the big trees. The roots kind of spill into the ground. You see pools of water. Some appear to go sort of maybe a foot, two. It's dirty, silty water. You can't really... Down, from above, all you saw was the reflection, but down it's just stinks. That smell of rotting vegetation and just sun-baked, discarded natural sort of substances. You can't pin anything, but it's just a horrible smell. You travel for about an hour, and I'm going to do this quickly. Hang on. So we've got...
Oh no.
The crappiest part of Dark Souls 3.
I'll explain this afterwards, but it's just fantastic.
Oh, pause
After
it
about an
again.
hour, you hear a distant sort of crashing noise. Just a sort of snap from in the distance ahead of you, just out of sight, and it sort of draws all of your attention sort of at the same time. You all hear it as, again, another snap this time, and sort of noises, sort of loud, grumbling, just reverberatingly deep noises coming from in front of you. Let's see.
I want to call out. We mean no harm.
Okay, you call out, we mean no harm. loud as you can.
We have our weapons ready though.
You've got the weapons. You sort of there's a sort of echoing as your voice travels through the forest, sort of reverberating off the trees, and then silence.
Oh man.
Feels like an eternity of silence. And there's no noise. The noise of whatever the cracking has stopped. Until you hear a
I think you've
sort
dealt with
of
that pretty
reverbing
well.
and this angry sort of mumbling as now the cracks are loud and they become less random and stomping as loud noises start going towards you. You feel the puddles
It's Jurassic
start
Park.
to shake as
I cut my rope.
Well,
And
we're
then
already out
you're
now.
on the rope. You're on the rope already.
Yeah.
I still try and cut it, forgetting that we're out of rope.
As about 100 feet away, through the sort of, just coming past a tree, you see a figure emerge through the canopy, standing probably about 10, 11 feet tall, with a waist almost as wide, big, bald head, fat, just rippling throat and chin, a big, horribly large nose, just ugly, deformed, fat, bulbous, dragging along this huge trunk, this sort of creature, stumbling, just looking around really stupidly until he gets a pin on you.
Okay, I want to sort of do like a mini dash a bit closer to the thing, and then as loud as I possibly can go.
Right. Intimidation check.
I hide behind a tree. I just
Stealth check.
I slink behind.
Not do one thing before we...
Yep, I slink.
13.
I slink behind the nearest
13.
tree. That is 13 stealth.
13 stealth. Sorry, what was yours, Theren?
13.
13 as well. Blue, what are you up to?
I am getting out a sword and hiding behind another tree.
Stealth check.
It's just Theren on his own. Yeah, where the god?
14.
14. Okay. Okay, great. You,
Where are you?
make this noise and stand your ground and really give it sort of a sort of just intimidating sort of like this huge thing coming at you, staring at you intently with his huge eyes. You hold your ground, and for a moment there's a like as it sort of goes and sort of looks at you, and his weapon almost not goes limp, but he just sort of stands there for a second. There's a moment of fleeting realization when you realise the two people behind you, you think they've probably disappeared. And it's this creature just like a bit of spit, just sort of rolling down the side of it, and then sort of like a big, hairy, fatty arm. As he looks at you. What languages do you all speak?
Coleman and
Yeah.
Common, Elvish, Dwarvish.
Common and Elvish.
Okay. None of you understand this creature.
Alright.
But so he said Dwarvish.
You.
It's like someone took the language and just defecated all over it. It's really just, I mean, the odd syllable you recognise, but there's no words there. It's just
Okay,
sort of looks towards you.
I basically I want to sort of change my language to Dwarvish
Yeah.
and say in the most broken, heavily accented, garbled, gibberish version of the language I can do, while still vaguely being considered speaking Dwarvish, essentially say to this thing, "Who you? Why you come at me?"
He sort of, there's a moment where he just stands there, this huge creature, just like as he's thinking, like, sort of picks his nose and just like wipes it.
As it does that, I want to go.
He's sort of like,
Theren's gone wild.
as you're doing this, the thumping noises continue. And out of just to his left, another second creature sort of comes out, sort of looking at you with his big claw. And sort of makes this noise, and the other one's like, as they sort of talk to each other. You two kind of see all this hidden, they're kind of behind trees. You think you haven't been noticed at this point.
Anyone who's really observant can see a large bead of sweat going down.
I sort of like mouth to Blue saying, I think he's got this. And stay behind the tree.
He's sort of like, are you a moron? Do you speak the filthy tongue? In common, but...
Oh my god.
Alright. I want to switch back to common and go,
Who you call moron? You speak filthy tongue.
Oh my god.
What do you mean? Don't let him talk to you like that! You're tiny, you can't talk! And his one's just sort of, again, it's just this spit. And you hear again this horrible spit just flying from their mouths as they talk. And he's like, Thump! Just get him! Why are we standing here? And he's like, but he was big! He looks tough!
Can I
Interject.
I want to now go up to the other one and go,
Oh, you guys slow. You nothing, me.
Okay, intimidation check. Again,
He's still
please.
got it.
I've got my musical instrument ready.
oh Jesus Christ, it's a 9.
9.
Oh.
Does no one want to help with something?
This one, the second one, so looks over to you and looks to us. What is he? And again switches language and they start going.
Can I do something at this point?
You can.
Could I see it's going a little badly?
Oh no.
Well, you can see what you can see.
Okay, I get out my instrument,
Yeah.
slightly damaged, but okay, hopefully, and start playing a jaunty tune and kind of jumping out from behind the tree and just like, hey, everybody chill. And you see I've got this kind of massive, weird looking instrument with like a disc spinning on at the end of like a crank, and I've got like little keys on the inside. It's a hurdy-gurdy.
Oh my god,
And I'm
amazing.
just jumping out of play and trying to entertain the ogres.
That sounds like a performance check.
Yes.
You're kidding me.
Nice, well done.
Oh my
It's the
god.
best thing they've ever seen. 27.
Oh my god.
Now, I did set a hard DC there, so that was a DC 20, but 27. There's just a sort of staring between them as they stare at you, fascinated. And again, the second one now just goes a bit limp. Its arms way too long for it, almost just sort of like round its sort of knees area as it stands. And again, it sort of scratches its arse. This weirdly just dishevelled, sweaty, disgusting like cloth that just hides whatever it's sort of going on there. What is that? I didn't.
Any
Who are
requests?
you two? Why are you here?
Hi, my name's Blue. Who are you?
Blue.
Blue. It's because I'm
That's a
blue.
good name.
Thank you.
I'm Thump.
Nice to meet you, Thump.
And the second one.
You're
What are you telling me your name for? Why would you tell him your name?
What's your name?
Shut up, you!
Your name's Shut
Thump.
Up, you.
My name's not Shut Up, my name's Flack.
That's a good name.
Flack. And
Flack.
then again he stamps his foot and you hear this just resembling noise as it echoes through.
Can we be friends?
No.
Oh.
I'm gonna eat you, I think.
Can
I
I?
don't
You're-
taste very good.
Oh, but I think you do.
Do you like
It's one
croco-
of those lizard things, isn't it? And he
Can
sort of
I-
looks at it, the second one looks at it and goes, oh yeah, I think you do. Oh.
Are they blue?
And he sort of looks at it and goes, oh, are you with the lizards?
It's a no.
No!
I'm with these two.
Oh fuck.
He does have an intelligence of 6. As soon as Blue says that, I would
react.
I would like to say something. I would like to say something.
Yeah?
I'd like to go,
It's Blue, me crush.
and I kind of at the same point, I want to sort of like,
Are you okay?
like sort of gesture
He's
at
having a
Aubrey to
stroke.
try and work her way around.
You go, me crush you, and he play on your body.
I don't
Look,
know.
man, I'm freaking out.
They both stare at you, and you can just see this processing, and they naturally just sort of like start beating their chests, and like, no, you wouldn't crush us, you're tiny. They sort of think to each other, goes,
We are tiny.
oh, if he's with the lizards, then I guess we should live in no fun. He said he wasn't with the lizards. What? You haven't said where you're from. You're trying to trick us. Where are you from? And they point you against spit. Even from like sort of 100 feet away, it just lands in puddles in front of them. Just.
I want to kind of turn over to my shoulder to Blue and very quietly kind of whisper, say the lizards are our enemies.
Okay. We're from the place that doesn't like the lizards.
Okay. He sort of thinks
Not
about
sure
it.
if I've killed us all.
He thinks about it. He doesn't like the lizards. He doesn't like the lizards, and it's like, ugh, but the lizards we like the lizards, and they both start stamping. Get away! Yeah, we're gonna crush you, and they start approaching as they just sort of start taking big steps in front of you.
I'm not doing anything. I'm behind the tree.
What? Initiative, please.
Oh, fuck.
He may not necessarily.
Oh,
we may not necessarily be fighting,
Oh, it's
but
awful.
I would like to roll initiative to get some sort of sequence of like urgency now.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Oh, that's some strong rolls here. You
Yeah,
see.
not good over here.
Okay, right. So, Blue,
Natural 1, but it's 2.
2. Still beats one of them. Theren,
6.
6. And
14.
God knows
14.
what my neighbours think at this point.
sorry about that.
That was
So
amazing.
you see these two creatures. They start to slowly walk forward, like big club, just sort of like ripped from the ground and now held in sort of he sort of thumps it as he comes along. As they both start to approach, maybe about 100 feet away.
Okay. How? Oh, 100 feet away.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. I did not think they'd be that far.
And you're the first to react.
I am the first to react. Okay.
That's terrible initiative rolls from everyone there, except from you. You had an
As
average
always.
roll.
Always. God damn it! I always forget I go first. Okay. I am going to try and get closer without them noticing. And try and use all my movement.
Yeah.
But stealth behind the tree. Like hopefully their focus is on
Okay.
them. Yeah.
So-
I'm not going to attack this round.
You have 30 feet movement.
Yeah.
It is difficult terrain, so you can move 15 feet towards.
No. Okay. Yeah. Then I'm gonna dash. So.
You
30
want to dash or are you stealthing?
I'm stealthing, but I want to use all. I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm not going to attack this round, so I'm just going to try and get closer to them
Right,
as quick
so
as I
if you're
can.
stealthing, you can make a new stealth check.
Yeah,
both.
of course. That is a 15.
15. Okay. You make your way another 15 feet closer, just sort of starting from
Yeah.
tree to tree. You think you're fairly well hidden.
Cool. Yeah, and that's all I do.
Okay. The first ogre, this thwack. Oh no, what was the first one? First one was
There was thwack.
And
Thwack.
thump.
Thump was the first one, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Thump was the first one. So, Thump sort of is starting to come over, and he's again these big strides. Again, his feet are kind of stuck in the swamp as he moves, but he sort of advances 20 feet towards, and just sort of goes, "You surrender now! You've got shinies, and we're gonna take them." And he just sees spit like coming from everywhere. He just sort of points and goes, "Surrender now." Theren, it's your go now.
Of the two, which one is clearly the alpha?
Make an insight check.
I'm assuming the second one, who was Thwack, am I right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that insight is a resounding 15.
Nice.
15. You don't know if there's a leader, but certainly Thump was the one that your Intimidate seemed to do more against.
Right. Then I want to turn to Thwack.
Which is the one currently 20 feet behind.
Yeah. I'm going to turn to Thwack.
Yep.
And I am going to glare at him and completely ignore the other one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to burn a spell slot and use command
Okay.
and just go,
Kneel!
Okay, now, what do I have to do with that?
you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
And since they do understand common, it should work.
Yes, that's a 3.
Oh. He
So-
has to obey.
Remind me of the... So, command, so kneel. So, remind me of the spell?
You may speak a one-word command to a creature you can see within range. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. The spell has no effect if the target is undead, or if it doesn't understand your language, or if the command is directly harmful.
Right. And how long does it last for?
It doesn't say.
It's into the next round, right?
It
Duration.
starts 1 round.
Okay, so it only works for 1 round. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, you just shout this kneel, and you see its eyes just sort of like glaze over temporarily. But it's on its turn, right?
Yeah, so it will go round
So
again.
that's your action.
Yeah. In terms of bonus action, I think I'm just gonna leave it for now.
Okay. And you're staying put?
Yes. I'm still trying to make myself as big as possible.
Okay, good. That is Blue's go.
Blues. Oh.
Desperately looking through books.
Look at my spells. What can I do? I will get out a... No, I can't do that. That would be stupid doing that. I'm just going to wait to
Do you
see...
know what it is?
I don't know.
What could it be?
I'm going to hold my action.
Okay.
I'm going to stay a little further back. What's happening?
Smart.
Goodbye.
And hold my action, and if Thump attacks one of us, then I will attack back with something.
Okay. If Thump attacks, you will attack back with
Let's say Vicious Mockery.
Vicious Mockery. Okay. It is now... this is now Thwack's go. So, the glaze spreading over his eyes, he sort of... and then collapses to one knee, and then just sort of hovers there. But again, even kneeling 7 foot above the ground, just this sweaty, fatty mound as the club just sort of like, not discarded, just sort of on the floor in a swamp, muddy ditch, as it just sort of stands there. Okay. And that is his go doing that. So, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to get a map out.
Oh my
Just to
god!
help.
Never
Here we
gets
go,
old.
we've built one of our just fantastic maps down here. So, Fiona, do you want to point everybody out?
I
so
will.
we've got, right at the back, we've got Thunk, who is currently kneeling in the white. We've got Thump, there we go, there, yeah, who is advanced slightly
I thought
forward.
It's not, hang on.
It's Thwack and Thump.
Thump. So thump and thwack.
Yeah, Thwack and Thump. Thump is the one closer and Thwack is the one kneeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
So, it's so obvious. Come on. These are really good
My
names.
bad.
Aubrey is towards his sort of advanced a little bit. Theren, did you advance? Sorry.
I did. So I would be...
only 15 feet. So you were in line with the back, so because you were 100 feet
so
away.
you're here with me.
So you're kind of in line with all.
Oh, yeah. So you're right. Oh, in line with me. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. This is difficult terrain. The whole thing is swamp, so your movement is very much limited right now.
Great.
And Blue is stood just behind, out of there, just by a tree, and it's kind of like difficult visibility. But we're back to the top with Aubrey. What would you like to do? You can see. Thwack. I know. So my handwriting is so bad.
So thwack is white.
Thwack. There we go.
Well, yeah, if you want to
So
bring
Thwack
race
in
into
white
it.
is kneeling currently, just staring intently at Theren, just drool eking down the side of his face. Okay. What would you like to do? You think currently you're still hidden?
I'm still hidden. Yeah, I'm just going to move to the next tree.
Next
A
tree?
little bit closer. And
Okay, so you stealthing still?
Yep,
No,
stealthing.
no.
Please, one
Can
of
you
you.
make it to that one?
So make another stealth check.
I'd like to if I can, but we'll see. That is a 12.
12. Okay, you go forward. Another 15 feet. 5, 10, 15. So you can see it advancing towards you. So you get the indication that you're going to meet it soonish.
Yep, that's what I'm planning.
Thump sort of looks round and goes, Thwack? What are you do-" And sort of looks over to Theren and goes, what are you doing to him? We should take you back to our camp. Yeah, I'll collect you up. But kind of, it sort of stays put and it's sort of like very confused as to what to do right now. Theren, it's your go.
Alright, I'm going to advance forward 15 feet again.
Yeah.
And
So just like
given that-
stodgily sticky
given
ground.
that this
as it
guy's
goes there.
still kneeling, I'm going to turn to the other one and go,
If you no listen, you next.
Oh, intimidation check with
come on.
advantage.
Come
Seeing
on.
as its ally.
well, the first one is 26.
Come on!
The second one is not a 26, so that's all that matters.
Oh my god!
Okay. It stares at you, and there's a moment of genuine, like, oh no, don't do that. Oh no, I don't want to. What have you done to Thwack? Oh, you can see he's really troubled by the whole thing. You staying put?
Well, you move 15
You move
feet.
15 feet
Yeah.
forward. Right, fine. Perfect. And you've got no bonus actions you want to do for now.
Well, I guess the only sort of bonus action I want to do is once more reiterate that he small, me big.
You're doing a very good job of that.
Extra.
Blue, you saw this happen. You were ready for some hostile action, but nothing's quite happened yet.
Okay, I'm just going to move on in. So
so another 15
5,
feet.
15.
Yep, because
And then-
unless you want to dash.
I'll use my action to dash, so 20...
25.
Yeah, and then I'll just kind of chill.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Thwack, now out of the command, just sort of stands himself up. What do you do to me? Bloody spellcasters. What do you want?
Can I just reply?
Well, Aubrey, what do you want to do? Because it's your go next.
I am going. No, I'm not going to attack. I'm basically going to hold my action. Basically, if either one of them advance on Theren, I am going to attack them with my greatsword. But I'm literally waiting.
Okay, but you are...
Yeah, I'm going.
15, 30,
Yeah.
40... You're about 50 feet away at the moment.
That's
so
fine, I'm gonna hold my
you wouldn't be able to
position.
reach.
Yeah, I'll hold on. Well, then I'll instead. Wait, I'm 50.
Each square is a 5-foot square.
Yeah. All right.
so
Well, then I would throw a javelin. At
if
them.
any of them
Like
advance on Theren.
yeah.
Perfect. Right. Thump. Sort of turning around, seeing this one. Yeah, who are you? What do you want? We don't recognise you. You say you're not with the lizard people, then who are you with? And it's back to you. It's actually out of initiative now.
Okay.
The hostile for now has been resolved. The situation has been stood off.
Can I try something?
Yeah,
of course.
When I said we don't like lizards, I mispronounced. I meant we don't like wizards. Very tricksy.
Yeah, Thwack sort of nods. Yeah. Oh, I don't like wizards either. They're really tricksy.
Yeah.
You're not a wizard, are you? Are you a wizard? You made me kneel.
No, he's just very persuasive, and I think your knee was just hurting you, wasn't it?
No!
No, I mean
My knee doesn't hurt me. I'm an ogre.
magic couldn't have hurt
I'm
you
Thwack.
because you're so strong. Magic couldn't have hurt you, right?
Thump sort of turns on. He's right, you know. You're very smart. And he thinks about it. Yeah.
So it was probably just you chose to sit down for a bit.
Yeah. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, you're very strong. Do you,
Sorry, are you still?
Are you still talking?
we want to be friends. We want to do business. You have good stuff?
Sort of things.
We will buy good stuff for shinies.
Shinies? What sort of shinies?
As Blue is talking, I reach into my pouch and pull out a gold coin and hold it up so it kind of catches what light is streaming through.
Yeah, and it sort of glints around.
And at the same time I want to go,
We no like wizards. You kneel because me great warrior with my people. We great warriors together.
Yeah.
Warriors. Yeah. I like you. You're tough.
I like you. You strong.
Ah, they both laugh. You're alright, really.
You alright?
And one just literally halfway through the conversation just sort of backs up slightly and just starts like scratching his massive ass against this tree. You can just feel the whole thing start to just rock slightly as bark gets flung up. And they went, okay. Oh, me and Thwack, we're looking for food. We want to get a crocodile. Have you seen any crocodiles?
No, crocodile might be a swamp. We hunt together.
Oh, yeah, but stupid cat people in swamp. No.
he's blundered.
I got a blunder.
Cat people here.
We don't like to go to swamp. Lizard people are there. Lizard people in the swamp.
There we go.
But
We don't mind lizard people. They're all right. They keep off those bloody cat things.
oh yeah, cats. We don't like cats.
No. Cat bad.
I know.
Lizards okay.
All they do all day is climb the flipping trees. What's the point of that?
Ogres good. Ogres strong.
Yeah.
Ogres fierce but happy face.
Why are you
He sort of
talking
turns to his
weird?
mate. He's got a point, you know. he speaks good logic. You should come back to our camp sometime.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. They might eat you.
Yeah. You two strong warriors, yes?
Yeah. But they might. The big, strong. He might not like you.
I thought you chief. You not chief?
I like you. No, I'm not chief. The chief is strong.
You not strong?
No,
I've gone
I'm
cockney.
Thwack.
You're not strong. You ain't strong.
No, I'm Thwack. I'm Thump.
It's nice to laugh, isn't it?
He's not a lizard.
He's not lizard.
What is he then?
It's a skin condition.
He dragon.
No, dragon.
Dragon.
No.
Oh.
Me gnome.
No!
With skin condition.
Your skin's really disgusting. And the other one looks, yeah.
I just kind of.
Yeah, really, just like getting sweat off his arms. Oh, you gotta keep yourself clean.
Alright,
I just kind of
Hygiene
glance at
is
Aubrey.
important, or you'll get infections.
Could you take us to Strong? Or would you like help in killing crocodiles?
We don't need help, but if you want to go and see Strong, he might eat you.
But if we go...
He's very hungry.
If
A
we,
lot of the time.
If we help them.
He stole my crocodile the other... No, he didn't. And they just literally started
Arguing, I love it.
Right. Well, they're distracted. Like, if we help them hunt the crocodile, then we go back with them. We will have proved our strength and our worth to the tribe, I think. And they might not immediately try to kill us.
Okay, but should we say we're not helping, we're watching because we're fans?
That's brilliant.
And then we just like, woo, you guys are awesome!
That's brilliant.
And then help if they suck.
That's a brilliant idea.
That's what I do with you.
Yeah.
Blue goes off and...
We want to know how your tribe hunts.
Well, and he sort of looks at it and gone, I smash them. Yeah, he gets it.
Neighbours.
They're fine.
We watch you kill crocodile, then you watch us kill crocodile, then together we go, your tribe, and we feast.
And then I just start doing the laugh again.
Alright then, you can see us hunt a crocodile, but we need to find a crocodile. We haven't seen a crocodile all day. No, he sort of thinks about it for a bit. No, just like, no, nothing really.
We'll help.
We don't need your help, but you can come along if you want.
Okay.
Alright. And they sort of like
Use the H
just
word.
like adjust themselves. One was maybe like hanging out a little bit. Just like
Oh,
get
Jesus
themselves back
Christ.
out and just alright then. This way, and then they just start disappearing off, just or not even really bothering to wait for you to follow them, but just like off towards into the north of the jungle.
I go.
No, I follow.
I follow. Can I look for crocodiles?
You can. So, as you follow these two just thumping ogres who just are not staying quiet at all. There is, I mean, you can try and stealth if you want, but they are, everyone can hear them. And they are actually moving slightly quicker than you. They have a base speed of 40 feet rather than 30 feet. So they start to pull away unless you kind of put a shift in.
Okay, I do want to put a shift in, but before what I want to do is I want to turn to Aubrey and say, if they ask, you were here the whole time.
Yeah, I just,
And if you believe it, I guarantee you that they probably will as well.
I just lead in and I go, see? Back yourselves. And I walk off behind the ogres.
She's so inspirational.
Did we just learn a lesson?
She's good. She's good. I could learn a lot from her if she didn't throw cheese away.
Maybe you just shouldn't care about cheese so much then. I mean,
Guys!
I walk away.
Yeah, we walk.
I get a shift
Yeah,
on.
shift on too.
Okay. Okie dokie. Right, so they spend the next sort of half an
You
hour
learned a lesson,
Just-
damn it!
destroying the canopy as they sort of like mash their way through. Maybe for about half an hour until they really sort of, getting sort of closer to the middle of the island right now. The trees and the swamp just sort of seemingly doesn't end. You can't see any of the mountains around you by now. The visibility on all sides is probably down to 150 feet at a good time, 100 feet where the trees sort of start closing in a little bit. What I'd like is for everybody to make me a survival check.
Oh no.
As you are looking for
No.
foes.
For foes. Oh.
3.
15.
4.
4. In fairness, we'll get these two to do it as well. I'm not so
No.
survival this week.
Oh no.
I got a 2 and a 1 for
Wow.
both of them, and they have a wisdom of -2, so that's a 0 and a -1. they are just stomping and
I
stomping.
mean, they're in
and stomping.
such double negatives that they may just stumble across someone by accident.
A crocodile or two.
Exactly. About half an hour, and they just sort of like stop, and they kind of like look to each other. What? What were you doing again? Crocodile. That's that. And they sort of look around and just dragging again. The club's just dragging along behind them, just leaving this river that slowly fills up with water as you travel along. Just this scar in, and actually after maybe 10-15 minutes, you see like another scar that's just gone in a different direction, just on the floor.
At least we'll be
filled
able to find our way
with water.
back.
True.
With a 15, you say. So, you, Blue, are the one to spot something.
Oh, it's said like this.
As the ogres trample ahead and Theren and Aubrey kind of keep themselves to themselves, try and like keep awareness of these ogres and trying to I know you're kind of half protecting yourselves, half keeping an eye on the situation. You're not really looking for crocodiles per se. Blue, you're like, crocodiles? Okay, that sounds amazing. And just out of the corner of your eye, as you're travelling past the tree, you see what first looks like sort of the bank of the sort of like root. Actually, with sunlight streaming down through a sort of rare break in the trees and glistening, you see a reptilian sort of hide, and it's only because it just so happens to sort of shift as you're looking at it, and just a coincidence as you just see this sort of like reptilian scale, maybe about 100 meters to your left. The ogre's like slightly past you, you're kind of rushing to keep up.
15.
15.
15 meters to my left.
No, about, what did I say, about 100 feet.
Phew. Really close to you.
Okay. What do I do?
Guys,
So you get the attention of these two, but the ogres are kind of like, I guess we'll have to keep going until we find one. And they just like
How
start
far
trampling
away are they?
They're probably about 60-70 feet ahead of you.
Can I throw a stone at one of them?
Make an attack roll.
Not to hurt them, but
No,
just
but
to get the
would you want? Are you trying to hit them, or are you trying to hit the ground round them? Just remember that roll.
round them.
Round them. Okay, so make an attack roll with disadvantage
So,
Oh, no, it's not.
because it's at the edge of your range.
Plus anything.
It'll be your strength, and that's it.
Okay, so that will be
19.
19.
19.
Whoa.
And again, you manage to make it splash just in front of Thwack. He sort of looks at it, looks up. I think the birds are back. And he sort of looks around and looks at you and goes, "What are you saying?" I don't understand what he's saying. I don't know. And they both look round and they catch sight of you. And they're,
Hello.
"Who are you?" And they start making like really aggressive noises.
The whole time.
Me. Here. All time.
Make intimidation check.
1, 2.
Intimidation check. A disadvantage.
No.
Because even they might see through a blatant lie. Even the brain dead ogres.
Can I just say my intimidation is +5 just to get that out there because I need a pool. I put it down, might as well. Okay, so the first roll is that's a 2,
7.
7, and that would have been a natural 20 if we'd been. No, it's a 7.
Good thing you got disadvantage on.
No, it isn't.
They kind of "Ugh, you two, we've got a follower." And they start like moving quickly. "Ugh, we're gonna have to get this one. You're keeping the crocodiles away."
No, she found the crocodile.
What?
It's over there. She pointed it out.
So listen.
Oh my god. This must be what it's like for
Oh
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a crocodile. They come up and they advance. And we
No.
will pick this one up.
No. You can't.
As our little party
My heart rate has been healthily high since we found them.
escort Black and Thump,
Wow. Who needs Bram or Brack?
we're
whatever he's called?
hunting a crocodile. We're not scared.
I think we did brilliantly.
That turned out differently.
I was just like, I'm happy.
I like
You
how
run
we
with
were
this.
good cop, bad cop.
Yep. And you back
I was just
yourself.
flying by the seat of my pants the whole time.
So,
Theren's learned a lesson.
swamp encounters. This is the best. I mean, honestly,
What did you?
You rolled 2
Ogres.
ogres. Wow.
Wow.
random swamp encounter.
I love it.
They perfect. Perfect.
worked
It was really
out.
good, and
I love
that went very. You know what? That would have been a tough one. That would have been a really
Yes,
tough
it
one.
would
So
have been tough.
yeah, fair play.
Oh, that was great. That was really good. You guys.
B team survive another day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was brilliant.
No deaths today. That's the war cry.
Thank you very much for joining us. This is proving good fun.
Yeah.
Random,
Sorry, Sam's
but
neighbours.
hilarious. Oh, sorry.
I'll apologise to them tomorrow.
Until next time. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.